Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. I'm just kidding, I totally saw you. What it do? So if you don't already know who I am, my name's Darius Darkshadow, and I'm here to make a video. For today's video, I decided to wear my most Uncle Tom outfit. For today's topic is a very spicy one. Over the last few months, Cartoon Network has been releasing a series of anti-racism PSAs that target real, pressing issues in our society. But I'm not here to talk about that other stuff. No, I'm here to talk about something much more beautiful. Something you only see once a generation. And of all companies, of course, it was Cartoon Network to greenlight this. From the studio that gave you Steven Universe, I present to you a PSA about Black history. I'm sure they'll get it right this time. Now, I will give them the tiniest amount of credit in saying that it wasn't released on Black History Month. So, it's not like that standard bullshit where it's like, we only give a fuck about black people in February. So, it's nice that they didn't do that. That's it. It has the least amount of likes of the 3 that they've made so far. Or I think it's 4 now. They have the least amount of likes out of the 4. So, obviously, some people believe, there's something credible. And for whatever reason, my dumbass decided to get high and make a review of it. So I will be doing that right now. Let us take a journey in what stopping racism looks like in practice. A scene. Elementary school. History class.
All right, class. Can anyone tell me who invented the light bulb?
It was founding father Benjamin Franklin.
Thomas Edison! That's not entirely true.
You tell him, Pearl. Tell these dumbass kids about that hunk of a man.
The light bulb could more rightfully be attributed to Lewis Latimer, the black inventor behind the filament inside the bulb.
Who? Is that a real person? Lewis Howard Latimer. Okay, he's a real person, but did he invent the light bulb? Hold on, I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a little industry secret. I didn't actually go anywhere. I did all the research before filming this, so that I wouldn't have to actually go and do it. Shh, it's our little secret. Okay, so some context. Essentially, a light bulb is just like, it's like you have an enclosed piece of glass and you run a wire through it and you run current through the wire. Okay, so what we actually want to know is Pearl's claim of Lewis Latimer being the inventor of the filament within the light bulb, which filament is just the wire. Did Lewis Latimer invent the filament within the light bulb?
Let's find out.
In 1800, a man named Alessandro Volta invented what's known as the voltaic pile, which is essentially a really big battery. And with that, you can power stuff. Then, a couple years later, inventor and chemist Humphrey Davy was able to produce light by connecting charcoal electrodes to these voltaic piles, thus making what came to be known as the first incandescent light bulb, or light due to heat. Then people asked themselves, how much money can I make from this? They determined it was a lot. And so the scramble for a long-lasting, efficient light bulb began. In 1841, 2 English inventors, both separate from each other, made a version of the light bulb that essentially was a vacuum, and it had a platinum filament to power it, because, platinum's the heating. Basically, platinum get hot, platinum no melt, platinum good filament. Also, because it was a vacuum, the gases that were inside of it wouldn't, react with the filament because there are no gases. That's obvious. It looked like it had a lot going for it. Sadly for them, British people have never invented anything useful, and so it didn't end up becoming a commercial success. About 7 years later, Lewis Latimer was born. And And somehow this pretty major detail got past an entire Cartoon Network. Got But it gets even worse. In 1850, chemist Joe Swan improved upon their design and realized that that instead of making it out of platinum, which is expensive, you can use carbonized bamboo filament, which is much cheaper. I mean, you can find bamboo anywhere. He presented this version of the light bulb in 1860, but unfortunately for him, he was still born British. And so, much like his entire country, it failed. Enter Thomas Edison. In 1878, Edison and his team at Menlo Park had been testing hundreds of materials, and they eventually found one that worked, which was carbonized bamboo filament. Okay, so they used carbonized bamboo. Edison used the carbonized paper filament. I guess paper is more abundant. I don't. He filed a patent for his design in 1879, and it was granted in January of the following year. Backed by several financiers, including J.P. Morgan, he founded the Edison Electric Light Company, which ended up being a commercial success. And the rest is history. So what does Latimer have to do with any of this? Oh, I actually have a note right here. Oh, nothing. He did work for one of Edison's rivals, Hiram Maxim, and he did file, I think 2 patents about useful ways to make and use carbon filaments, but that was 2 years after Edison had already patented his light bulb. So that's it.
Wait, is that it? Hold on. We're not going to mention why he invented the filament? To create a better standard of living for people who had only just been freed from slavery? Are we going to ask why kids are apparently learning about Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison!
Ugh, and not learning about Lewis Latimer? These textbooks are incomplete. There were black Roman warriors, black medieval knights, black classical musicians, black cowboys, black fighter pilots. Where are they? I worry about you humans because you only live, about 100 years? You rely on these stories to know your own history. About 100 years, you rely on these stories to know your own history. Thanks to systemic racism, most of your storytellers...
Did he... There's no fucking way that's real. That can't... Did he just... Hang on, let me get my Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. I gotta see this in 20/20 vision. There's no fucking way. Okay. I must be hallucinating. These 4 a.m. edibles must got me all the way fucked up. Did he just point as if he's blaming the black guy? And the black guy just smiles? Someone must have had a sense of humor over at Cartoon Network. This is golden. Anyway, where were we? I can just put on my regular glasses. I don't use those Jeffrey Dahmer glasses anymore, for obvious reasons.
Thanks to systemic racism.
Ah, there it is. That's bullshit, and I'm gonna tell you why. The question of why we learn what we learn is an important one. Especially in the context of history, right? You know, the famous sayings, those who don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. History gives students the proper context to interact with the world around us, right? We learn about the Cold War to know about the global events that led to our current, political climate. We learn about genocide, so we learn not to do it again, because we're really fucking good at that. But to say that the reason why black Romans are missing from history books is because of systemic racism is not only a huge leap in logic, but it shuts the conversation down. Why would someone care to look into the establishment of education curricula when you can offer brilliant and incisive commentary such as System's just fucked, bro. Let me be clear. I'm not saying there wasn't an element of systemic racism that played into what we learn today. In fact, I think it's pretty clear there was. The problem I have is with how it's being presented and who it's being presented to. Like, think about who the target audience is here, right? You can argue it's everyone, but at the end of the day, this is a kids network. They make shows for young teens, especially Steven Universe. I mean, if you like that shit, you're just fucking 12. And you want them to swallow information that requires critical thinking? Like, most adults can't even do that. You think Steven Universe fans of all people are going to be able to do that any better? And worst of all, the example they use to introduce the argument isn't even true! This is, in the most literal sense, a children's network diluting complex political issues to push an agenda. I don't know how else to put it. If my rant didn't make much sense to you, essentially what I'm saying is that Pearl is giving what you might call an incomplete picture to what is a very not so cut and dry issue about what history we should actually be teaching. If we teach more black history, are we being fair to other racial groups in America that contributed to its success? If we prioritize individual accomplishments like the invention of the light bulb over major historical events like the rape of Nanking, are we giving students the proper context to interact with the world around them? This matters. The fact that somebody made this, the fact that a group of animators, producers, and researchers sat down and made this, and somehow all of them missed the fact that Latimer had fuck all to do with the invention of the filament. The first filaments were invented decades before he was even born. It's like, by the day, our intellectual standards continue to degrade.
There have always been stupid people, but the internet provides greater opportunity for stupidity to be expressed and paraded. In this day and age with the internet, ignorance is a choice, and they're still choosing ignorance.
It's just sad, man. Like, Cartoon Network used to be a fun, family safe zone for fun family entertainment. Now they make this shit. Like what happened to you guys? You hate to see it. And with that, I conclude my video. So what does this mean? Nothing, since death is inevitable. But the moral of the story is that if you want to make a point, maybe you should put more than 2 minutes of effort into it. Like, I understand that, you know, people at Cartoon Network are very busy, but I don't know, is that hard to do? Does that require too much time? I'd maybe do some script approval and maybe and guys, this is gonna sound fucking crazy. This is gonna be a mind-blowing concept, but maybe think before you speak. I don't know, man. It's 2 a.m. I took 20 milligrams of Ritalin, and I'm high on edibles, so I'm gonna go do other shit. But now you know, or whatever.
I swear.
Hang on, before I go, did anybody actually learn about Thomas Edison in school? I might just be retarded, but I don't remember learning about Thomas Edison or the light bulb or whatever. But maybe that's just me. But anyway, that's it. Bye.